What's going on, you guys? This is the DeFi Crypto Alliance show where we do our best to be the bridge between our fellow real estate investors, entrepreneurs alike, and the cryptocurrency world, where crypto is the biggest opportunity over the next little while, and it's not even close. Welcome along on the journey. We're pumped to have you guys. Corey, take it away.
Absolutely, guys. Corey Geary here. Absolutely blessed to be on this journey with you guys where we're going to use cryptocurrencies as that wealth creation tool and use real estate as that wealth preservation tool. And today, you guys don't earn the megaphone because you guys are dumping your bags into oblivion and continue to do so because I did a DCA yesterday. So feel free to use me as exit liquidity if you want and go ahead and keep dumping your bags. I am perfectly fine with that. In fact, if you keep dumping, I might go ahead and do another DCA. We will see. But yeah, it's just been a blast to be on this journey with you guys. And we appreciate all of you that come and watch our show, that participate in our comment section, who come in on open mic day. In fact, I think we're going to do an open mic tomorrow. So it's going to be an open mic Thursday versus a Friday, because Friday, me and Dane are flying out to another real estate event to onboard real estate entrepreneurs into this space, to buy your Pulse Chain bags, to buy your Pulse X bags, to even buy some of those Hex bags that are down 99%. We are bringing people in to be exit liquidity. And yeah, go ahead there, Brizology, Corey, exit liquidity group. Feel free to dump on my head. I encourage you to do it. I did a DCA just yesterday. So I want you guys to dump and use me as exit liquidity. I am all about it. I have been paying my dues this whole market cycle, and I'm ready. So yeah, I'm here for it, man. It's just an absolute blessing. So
It's been really interesting to let the market teach us, if we're willing to keep our eyes open, to let the market teach us about what it wants and what it wants to do, rather than crying and boo-hooing on social media about how certain things that we hoped happened 2 years ago haven't happened yet. In fact, Corey and I were talking today, and it's pretty wild. I mean, if you would have told me when the sacrifice was going on, if you would have told me and said, "Hey, a year after Pulse Chains launched, price will be under the sacrifice rate, the best sacrifice price, or not the best, but the three zeros and a one," I would have
yeah,
said
the
you were
average.
crazy. I would have said you were freaking crazy. And it speaks to the opportunity that we have now to still buy cheap prices. Like, you go around, you look at different blockchains, there's a lot of stuff that's not undervalued as good a deal as you can find on Pulse Chain, which I think is really, really, really important. And so there's huge opportunity still. I think that it's just a matter of time until our time comes, until our ecosystem rips and rips in a really big way. And otherwise, we have the opportunity to let the market teach us about what's going on. We have the opportunity to buy things that we believe in and be patient, or you can sell your bags and run away and go cry yourself to sleep in the night. Those are your options. So
You,
welcome,
you,
welcome to the most volatile asset class in the history of the world.
one of the lessons I learned, and I got kind of lucky with this because I got out early enough. But one of the lessons learned is if it walks like a duck, what does that say? If it walks like a duck, looks like a duck, it probably is a duck. And in crypto, because one of the protocols that we always make fun of and poke fun of is Titan X on here. And Dane, you would have said, well, it looks like this has the exact same like tokenomics of Zen. And it did exactly that. It's like down 99%. So like one of the things I've learned in this market cycle is that if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it probably is a duck. And just because somebody put a buy and burn in there or put like some other kind of Ponzi-nomic, if it's going to do the inflation model that Zen does or more so, then it's probably going to get wrecked more so than Zen. I think Zen is actually going to have better staying power than Titan X. But it's funny how when you look at these new things launching, if you try to see where their inspiration came from, you could kind of determine where it's going to end up going. it's very interesting. I've learned a lot of lessons in this market cycle. I got lucky in Titan-X. I was able to pull up my liquidity before it completely went to zero. People are like, well, it's not going to zero. It's not zero. I still see copers on freaking Twitter, man. It's just like, God, guys, you guys are retarded. You're so dumb. Like, I'm just like, so stupid, man. Like, that's the definition of cope right there. But yeah, it was a fun and interesting experiment for me to watch, and along with a lot of the other stuff too. One of the lessons I learned too, Dane, is you're not diversified in a protocol if the community that's in that protocol comes from your original community. So like with Zen and Titan-X, like they're all freaking hexagons, man. You're not diversified at all. Like people are like, oh, I'm diversified. I'm in Zen. Oh yeah, this is one of my diversified. No, you're not, stupid. This is all the same community members. That's the exact same people. Like if you want to be diversified, go over to ADAX and buy, or Phantom, and buy some stuff over there into some different communities over there, or different narratives like the AI narrative, or maybe the gaming narrative. Like it's just it's so funny. I learned that lesson too. The market taught me that this cycle. So interesting. I try to take my L's. Or even if it wasn't an L, like Titan-X was an L, but it could have been. It could have been an L very easily. I didn't trust it, so I was pulling out my money very quickly. I didn't trust it at all. But I know it was a big L for a lot of people. And so I like to sit back and just like in real life, man. I mean, when I take an L in a business, or when I take an L on a flip, I would sit back and be like, where the F did I go wrong? And how can I avoid that mistake again moving into the future? Same with a lot of these sacrifices that we did, man. We took a lot of you can say they're not L's yet because we haven't sold, or they haven't played out all the way yet. But we definitely took an L on a lot of these, as far as like initially, if we'd have just waited and bought after the protocol launched and let the market do its thing and then go through a dip. Like we would have got better pricing, right? And so like we learned a lot there, that the ICO model or sacrifice model is not that great of a model, really. I mean, we've had a couple that have done okay. One of them's like the Piteous sacrifice. Fame and Fiat are still, I think, about even, or maybe they might be a little bit underwater. I'm not sure. But almost everything else is like wrecked. Like absolutely wrecked, right? And so another interesting lesson learned from the market. Yeah,
it is interesting. If you did, we joke a lot about Zen here. If you did like Zen and you believed in it, this is actually a pretty interesting chart. It is about as cheap as you can get it right now on ETH. So these lows, every time it's come down and touched these lows, it's sprung off. Same thing here. You got a spring. Same thing. Do we see that again here? Does it break down? I don't know. I don't know what it'll do, but somebody likes to support the price where it's currently at right now.
Or
it's cheap.
Maybe
it doesn't
not.
It doesn't get any cheaper than this.
What scares me is there's whales that are very vocal on Twitter that are dumping. I know one of them, he is, and he put literally millions of dollars into minting Zen, and he's very vocal. I am a perma dumper. I can't stand Jack Levin now. I am going to dump this thing until I can't dump it anymore. Like, that is the opposite you want to hear from a whale.
Agreed.
I'm just like, oh my God, dude. It's yeah. And hey, the one of the narratives for Zen is it's an 8-year play. So if you're playing the game for not this cycle, but maybe next cycle, maybe Zen is the thing then. I don't know. Not a bet I really want to make. I do have Zen mints. I've for the X1 chain. I created a bunch of those NFTs, not a bunch, but enough for me to have some a stake in the game. Just because I would want a piece of the X1 chain if he ever launches. I don't know if he is. He said that he could build. I don't know if you remember this, Dane. He said he could build a layer 1 blockchain in 2 weeks because he was making fun of Richard Hart back then. Here we are. I think, I don't know, maybe it's a year later or yeah.
Where is it, bro?
Yeah, this was before Pulse Chain launched. He was like, I can do it in 2 weeks and I'll have it launched. Watch. Oh, fuck, where were we at, man? I created my Zen mints and we'll see, man. It might be all just a freaking rug pull. Everything's a rug pull now.
Yep. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Zen is an endgame. X1 is. Yeah, we'll see. He's got to release it. It'll be interesting.
We'll see, man. Yeah, I would. And if hey, listen, K Crypto, if he launches it in 2026, well, then you're just going to have the same problem that basically Pulse Chain had. Is you're going to see a massive dumping. There's going to be no price support because the bull market's over. So we'll see. I mean, prove me wrong, please. Red Scroll's got a good point there. Tetra still way above SAG. Yeah, Tetra's done pretty well overall. Even if you'd have bought Tetra on Ethereum before the fork, you're still in great profit. That's when I had bought it, and I still hold my bag from way back then. So,
in fact, if you like Tetra, if you like Tetra like we do on the show, it doesn't. There's a lot of price charts right now that if you want them, they're about as cheap as they've ever been. It's fascinating. Yeah. Let me pull this up.
And Tetra, all it does is for Stu Man to make an announcement, and then not to say that's going to moonshot overnight, but it would probably definitely pick up off the floor if it got an announcement.
Yeah, it's about, especially in Pulse terms. I mean, it's about as cheap as you can get, as you've been able to get it. I mean, look at that. It's a beautiful buying opportunity where we're at right now.
Looks like consolidation.
Yeah, it looks like it's finding a nice. I mean, you do have. You're still on a I mean, you have this downtrend here, right?
Yeah, but that could be a higher low there forming. That
it could be. Does this one hold right here?
That there could be. So it could be structure, which is kind of funny, Dane. We're seeing a lot of these with different charts, like the FAME chart. We pulled that up yesterday. Mm-hmm. Even the fiat charts starting to look like it's creating structure at the bottom. It's interesting that we're seeing these on a lot of the utility type token price charts. Even Axis pointed out the loan token is finding a bottom against Pulse. We'll see if it holds. That thing has been nothing but down only. But it's interesting to see a lot of these utility tokens starting to find some structure at a bottom. Because I mean, we're big fans of utility tokens. We love them. We love the idea of use case and doing things with our tokens on Pulse, not just buying freaking dick with butt. I mean, dick with butt's cool. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I like an idea where I can, create some passive income through staking it because all the members are building these, automation protocols on top of the Pulse chain, and then you have all this automation, and it's like, I love that. To me, I like that more than dick with butt. But if I got to buy dick with butt for gains, I mean, I guess I just got to buy dick with butt. I mean,
I'll like the utility stuff more when the market also likes it more. Yeah,
I guess so, right? Like, I don't need to be right. I just need to make money. Like, I don't care about being right. I really don't. Like,
that's one of the things that's really been fascinating. In fact, this has been a really good learning lesson for me. Is I thought the utility stuff on Pulse Chain was gonna rip, and I think it still will do just fine. I also thought Pulse Chain would be a lot higher than we are right now. To everybody's cryptocurrency holdings, everything would be up more now. If Pulse had a really strong run and was holding up there, so we're waiting for Pulse to really kind of lead the charge. But man, the memes are where the gains have been on almost all the blockchains. I find it fascinating that yeah, K Crypto nailed it. Memes made the most money on Pulse Chain so far, and that's been all the blockchains. Like all of them. The utility stuff is gone to sleep. It's been sleeping for a while. And the memes are where the money wants to go, where the market is saying there's interest. And so you have a couple of different options. I think the one is you see a lot of people where they just put their head in the sand and they say, "Oh, my coin will pump someday, and everybody else that doesn't own my coin is a loser. You know, you've been making money over here, but you're a loser because you made it
That's the
on a
part I hate.
on a penis emoji, you know, like it's silly. And so that's the one option. Or the other is you could say, hey, the market likes this stuff right now. If you want to try to get some gains and build your core portfolio, well, then you can come and play the game a little bit. And a little bit is the key, in my opinion. You don't need to bet the farm. But man, if you came and you caught some of this stuff, I mean, I think my dick with butt, I think I put $500 into it. And it's worth like $3,500 right now, which is pretty crazy.
Which is a lot more Pulse.
Oh, a lot more, right?
That's the way I like to think of it in. It's like I just you just literally 4x or 5x your Pulse. It's like that's great. Here's I posted this on Twitter, Dane. It was Hans. He posted this morning. I retweeted it. He said, meme coins work because the time preferences of people has been fucked up in modernity. I don't know how that word. Because of fiat. Because of fiat money. So the clown world manifests itself in modern degeneracy, cheap food, unhealthy bodies, medicated populations, and drugged. This is why meme coins outperform, because it's a clown world.
He's not wrong. I saw that and I thought you nailed it.
Interesting. We're just projecting ourselves on the blockchain. We're just humans. And this is, I think he freaking nailed it to the T there, why meme coins are the way they are. Kind of like, I mean, this was the stupidest thing. We saw the racist coins over on Solana, and some of them were mooning, dude. Like, why? Who are these people buying that? They're projecting themselves over there. It's interesting times we live in. I know we were talking about that last night, Dane, and we were talking about like the whole, like, you know, the filth that's out there and how it's projected everywhere and how you can make just a ton of money in those type of industries if you really want to kind of get your hands dirty and make yourself that type of person. It's out there. It's just, it just speaks to what kind of society that we live in. And it's not a society I want to raise my family in, but it's there, and we at least need to be educated about it. But the meme coins, you know, it's fun to participate in them. I like them. They're not my favorite. I like utility coins better, and I like my core coins the most. I love my core coins, but if I'm gonna go, you know, 5x my Pulse, or you know, not my Pulse bag, but I'd like a 5x a small bullet to dick with butt. 5x into my Pulse bag, I'll do it.
Right. I mean, and I like things that go up. The market does too. And Richard said it time and time again, right? The best marketing are green candles. And so, you know, we talked about it yesterday that we are the biggest leverage play on Ethereum there is in crypto. And we've got to be patient in order for that play to pan out. And otherwise, you have opportunities now to do some other things if they're things that you want to participate in. And so you get to make a decision of how you want to play the game. And be positive for those that are winning in other respects if they're playing a different game than you.
That's it. Don't be a maxi on it. Paul Sachs with some hookers and cocaine. Man, if you had met old Corey about 5 years, 10 years ago, he would have been indulging in all that stuff. So, oh, you mean the coin? Okay. I understand Paul Sachs. Okay. I understand what you're saying.
So this is an interesting question. Yeah, Retrostatic, do you think that the team will support a floor? Because as far as I understand, I don't think they put any liquidity up, have they?
Not that I understand. I haven't done the chain analysis, or I haven't looked into the liquidity pools and, myself. So I don't know.
Oh, this is beautiful. Yeah, Brett, this is a cool take. Yeah, bought 2 billion PTGC for about 5 grand with I'm gonna assume that's rotation into Pulse. It's now equal to 1 billion Pulse. So yeah, nothing has been like meme tokens or utility tokens with a meme thus far. It's true. It's true.
Yep. I can agree with that.
Yeah. We haven't even seen the power of V1 Pulse X yet. The tipping point will happen roughly about 100 billion a month, 1.7 trillion in the pool. Just saying, Christmas time. Yeah, yeah. In fact, I mean, we've been talking about this for a while. I wouldn't be surprised at all if core stuff doesn't do a lot until later this year, at the end of this year. We talked about it yesterday. As long as Richard, if I were Richard, and I'm no billionaire, and I'm certainly not Richard, so don't everybody jump in and say that I'm likening myself to Richard. But from the little bit that I understand about cryptocurrency, you've got this nice trend line going on right here on the Pulse chart. As long as you can keep this intact, it doesn't even need to go bananas, but as long as you can keep this intact, you keep trending up nice and slowly until that ETH position is worth rolling over and really like printing those green candles. And you want to do it when everything else is red, like does ETH go on a run and you feel like the market's getting toppy over in ETH, and then you rotate over and you say, oh, we're the best. Pulse chain is the only thing that's 10x'd in the last 60 days. Come and check out the world's best. That would be Richard for you. Come and check out the world's best layer 1 blockchain that's going to outperform everything else. That would be Richard-esque.
Yep. Yep. It's going to take some time. I'm happy though. I am happy that we are a leverage play on ETH though, because I mean, I'm definitely like, bullish on ETH. Like ETH that's a blue chip that's gonna, with ETH ETFs getting approved, like for this cycle, I'm extremely bullish on ETH. Like I'm glad we're a leverage play on that. So if ETH goes and does a 4x, maybe we can do, I don't know, maybe we can get a 20x. If ETH goes and does, a 10x, maybe we get that 100x. I don't know,
Because imagine being a leverage play on Bitcoin at 16K or 15K, and then it just freaking ripped with the ETFs. I mean, there's something to be said there. So I think it's a good thing.
Said it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very happy with the move. Now, of course, could he bought it at a different time? Yes, of course. But like, still, I love the move. And he did take a lot of ETH supply off the market when he did that move. So that was one strategy when he was buying at that time. I don't believe he's shorting it. Like there was a
strategy. Or you think that's just cope?
Well, I think it's cope that the people are going around saying he's shorting ETH. He bought ETH to go and open a position up like in a like an Aave, like fiat, or by this Aave, like, and he's in a short ETH. That's cope. That's cope. Like he did take some supply off the market when he bought it. Of course, I mean he's one of the largest ETH owners now. Right. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. A lot of people, I think this is a really interesting thing to think through. A lot of people wondered this because it seemed, like it seemed fairly straightforward, especially to people that have been around that, ETH was finding a bottoming in this range.
It was not down there very long though.
It wasn't. And even if or even around 1200-ish, like there was time to do that.
It was around 2000 for the longest time. That's where I remember the majority of the bear market. ETH was just hovering around 2K. That's how I remember, or I recall it.
Here's my speculation. I just think there's a time in the case when Richard started to feel, I don't know who, I shouldn't say Richard, whoever is in charge of the sacrifice wallet. At some point in the case against Pulse Chain, Pulse X, and Hex, they became comfortable using those sacrifice funds in different ways. strategically, and I would be willing to bet that where the case was at the time, they weren't comfortable doing anything with it, at those prices. And so you see opportunity pass you by because you don't want to run legal risk of everything going kaput. So it is what it is. And apparently now the person or people that control that are now very comfy doing different things with those funds. So that's exciting to see.
Yep. I agree 100%. I mean, I have been in a few different lawsuits in my entrepreneurial journey, and when your attorney says to do something, you do it. You're paying them a lot of money to give you advice and basically give you kind of a roadmap on how to walk the path of the lawsuit or whatever you're doing. You don't go against their advice. That's not why you're paying them all that money. And so if they're advising him to not stream right now, well, then he's not going to stream. Like, he's paying those guys millions of dollars to give him and to stay out of trouble. So like that's the whole point, right? And this is for the longevity, health of the ecosystem. People are so short-minded, short-sighted. Like, oh, he's not streaming now. I'm pumping our bags. Yeah, dumb butt, because he can't, because his lawyers are telling him not to, and he's paying his lawyers millions of dollars to do what's in our best interest long term, right? And so people are just they don't realize that it's for his best interest, our best interest, and for the best interest of Pulse Chain long term. So
agreed. Yep, agreed. The name of the game now is patience, buying the things that you like, coming and playing some of the games you may want to play. Have a nice dip on SolidX. We've talked about SolidX a lot more recently. It's been a fun thing to follow. Got a nice
my
dip
goat, bro. SolidX is my goat. I still got the blue Corvette, bro. I still got the blue Corvette. On Productions, I have not been scammed yet. I have not been rug pulled. And so we are going to keep playing the game and see what happens. And I think it's going to be fine. I think that's going to be, for me, that's my premier meme coin right now. That's my number one. In fact, I even dumped a lot of my garbage in there. I was like, let's clean a little house. Let's do a little housekeeping and sweep this garbage that I got into SolidX. And it's panned out so far. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. And I'm all about it. I like that. I like anything. I was with some of the OGs yesterday, and I see one in the chat right now who we were with. True blessing to be with those guys. I love those guys. And he was even one of the guys was like, look, man, anything that has a founder that's a multi-millionaire or billionaire, and they like to buy their own coin up, I'm all about it, and I'm in. It's like, dude, that's a great.
It's not rocket science, right?
Right, like that's how he makes his decision if he wants to go in or not. I'm like, dude, that's perfect. Like he's like, I keep it very simple, and I'm like, dude, that's a GOAT decision making. That's how you make your decision. Like, does it have a founder that's gonna buy up his own coin and pump the market? Like, that's beautiful.
Yeah. In fact, Franklin, I think that's a great comment. People using RH tweets and SAC fund movement as trading signals, that will change, though. What would it take for that to change? Yeah, like in your mind, what needs to change in order for those things to change? That's what I'm curious about.
It's the privacy, man. We need privacy on Pulse Chain, and then he can kind of do what he wants at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, good question. Who's the SolidX founder? I think it's that Tiago guy. Is that right?
Yeah. Tiago, aka Firewell. They call him the Firewell. He's an OG Hexican. He had put in $300K into Hex in February after the Hex launch, which a lot of your OGs know that was in the lows. And he farms. He's the second biggest farmer on PulseX, making anywhere from $80,000 to $150,000 a day on the farms, depending on what the price of Ink token is. And he's been supporting the Axis price chart all this whole time. That's why Axis is such a high multi-billion-dollar market cap and why the coin's so high. He supports the Nope price chart, and he's just now started recently supporting the Fire, which is Crispy Man's price chart. And now he launched his own coin, and so he obviously, I think he's going to support his price chart more, and he supports those guys, or at least equal to. Maybe he supports them all equally. Who knows what he does? But I'm all about it. Yeah, I'm not like all in on SolidX. I think like go and jeet all my Pulse and Pulse X in there, but it's a good portion of my portfolio now. And that happened by accident. I didn't know like it was going to go that big. I was like, oh, at one point it surpassed my Pulse bag, and my Pulse bag is my biggest bag, and I'm like, holy crap, it's bigger than my Pulse bag. I'm like, I probably should do something here. I wish I would have, sir. I wish I'd have listened to myself and had done something there, because that was the top.
Right. Right.
I was like, I should do something here. Yet next time I know to listen. Like, oh, I probably should have done something there. I probably should have at least shaved off some.
Right. Yeah, Corey, do you want to explain your theory behind Pulse Chain being a privacy chain?
Yeah. So, literally, we know the dev who launched the Pulse X protocol, the whole Pulse X, is over on testnet. I guess probably the testnet v4. I don't know. We had so many testnets, man. I remember that was a time too, like when it was like we were getting new testnet, and there was a new narrative every single freaking month. But he's over there testing privacy, full blown privacy for the entire chain. It would make Pulse Chain the first EVM smart contract privacy chain. So you'd have the privacy that what's the name of it? Monero has on its chain with smart contracts. So you would have, whales love that. They would attract a lot of whales over to our ecosystem because they don't like being tracked. Now, that's part of the blockchain, is that you're out in the open, fully naked, and that's kind of one of the beautiful things about blockchain. But these whales, they don't appreciate that, and they would like some privacy. And then it's funny how we're leading to that point, because Richard, or maybe not Richard, Greg the Duck, whoever that is needing the privacy because he's tired of people front running. Some of our friends do this. Some of our close friends do this shit, and they front run Richard's transactions, and then they go sell into it. It's like, bro, stop. Like, I love you, but stop. So Richard's getting tired of this. Or not Richard, Greg the Duck. Sorry. We don't know who it is. We really don't. Richard could be the face. Like, he could be the face out there pissing people off, and he does a good job of that. So and whoever controls those wallets are tired of it, so they're building this privacy out of necessity. But it actually is going to fill product market fit for the entire crypto space. We would actually be in very first innovative new technology first, to something with Pulse Chain, solving a problem, having product market fit, where we would be an actual EVM chain with smart contracts with full privacy. It would be absolutely amazing. I think it could be one of the catalysts that sends Pulse Chain to the moon. I really do. If this thing pans out, and we see proof that they're testing it right now over on testnet. So that's what I know. It's going to be fun.
You know what's really interesting about that theory? I was just thinking through, there's been, problems with the government with mixers, but they haven't done anything with privacy coins like Monero, for instance.
Yeah.
And so, like theoretically, as things currently stand, you can't, as far as the government's concerned, the US government, you can't go use mixers. So Richard, or whoever's in charge of the SAC funds, they haven't obfuscated them via mixers. I would also argue, I don't think there's enough liquidity over on Monero to be able to reasonably obfuscate the SAC funds if you wanted to do something like that. And so if you could make Pulse Chain a place where people could come and get privacy without being mixers, without running money through things that governments have said they don't like, that'd be a big deal. You bring a lot of big money through. That'd be a really big deal.
Yeah, whales would appreciate that, and we need more whales. Is what we need. Whales control price, whether you guys like it or not. They can either crush your project or protocol or blockchain, or they can take it to the moon. I'll give you two examples. Obviously, Solid X is a great example for going to the moon. Hex is a great example of going to the moon by a whale. Pulse Bitcoin, great example of going the opposite to the moon. What do you call that when it's the opposite of going to the moon? When you just absolutely destroyed? I don't know. You go to Goblin Town. You go to Goblin Town. Yeah. Pulse Bitcoin, a whale, one whale, or one or two. It might have been two whales. We know one. I know one that was associated to him. Absolutely destroyed it. Destroyed the protocol. Killed it. In my opinion, it's still around, and there's some believers in there. And who knows? I hope it comes back. I do. I hope for those guys. I do. I have some of those guys are my friends, and so I hope that comes back. But that's a good example where, man, you need these wells. They make and break you, and we need more. We need more pulse chain wells, and coming in now in the pulse chain will be a great time because guess what, guys? You've already got bags. You front run them. So like. That is the best scenario you could possibly hope for. And so now bring on the wells. We've established our positions. Let's now go to the moon. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And yeah, Brett Bowers, you nailed it here. I'm sorry, this is the one. I've never seen so much wallet doxing as I do in Pulse Chain. It's crazy. In fact,
crazy.
I was talking about this with, I think it was Coffee last night. He goes, we are probably one of the most intelligent crypto communities there is, period. And that works for us and against us. Because if we're all in there providing single-sided liquidity and trying to like exit the exact same way, then who's going to buy our liquidity on the like we need new users. We need new retail coming in. We need new whales. As we are a very intelligent community. And that's part of RH. RH is, he facilitated that education in us and understanding blockchain and crypto at a very deep level, which is why I'm here. I'm here because of you guys. I really am. And at the same token, now we have to get a little bit smarter and get a little bit ahead of the curve because not Richard, but Greg the Duck needs to obfuscate and do things, be a chef in the kitchen, if you will, without everybody watching what the heck is going on. It's freaking horrible. Like I said, we got friends that sit there for 15 hours a day and they watch every single move and they front run every single move. And I know that Greg the Duck knows this. He's not an idiot. He's not an idiot. Like, oh my God, I'd be so upset. I'd be like, you did it again, you prick.
Right.
Stop.
People got to eat.
People got to eat. I get it. People got to eat. This is PvP, but that means the other player can get smarter. He can get smarter, and he can start doing things that is to his benefit.
Yep. Agreed. It'll be good. Cool. This is probably a good place to, I think we covered most things. Anything else you want to cover today, Corey? Maybe we do open mic show tomorrow?
We'll do an open mic show tomorrow. Any other announcements? Not a lot going on Pulse Chain right now. I think the 9mm, if you guys are a part of that Pulse OG thing back in the day, I had bought a bunch of them. I like the idea because you can make some passive income in the 9mm token. You might be able to sell some of these on the open market for a good profit too once these all go live. But that is launching supposedly today. So keep an eye out for that. That's some cool stuff going on there. If you had participated, I'd be very leery about buying those off the open market now. You're buying someone else's bag. Might be a good deal, might not be a good deal. But other than that, yeah, I think we'll do open mic show tomorrow, man. I think we'll do open mic Thursday. We're not going to be here. On Friday, so that would be good.
Yep, I like it. All right, cool, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. You guys make the show what it is. There will be plenty more exciting things to come later this year. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Have a good day.